why do black women get angry and ticked off when you talk about, first of all, when you talk about our hair extensions, period. But then to be accused of trying to act Caucasian because we like hair extensions. So I want to talk about that today. And what led me to this is someone was in my comments and they made a comment about that, the fact that I had hair extensions and I'm teaching on hair. And I was like, what does that have to do with the tea in China? Number one, but I didn't even address it, right? I think I did address it. I think I said 25 years. You're right. But then I went out, yesterday I went out and a young lady had hair extensions below her backside. She was this real tiny person, right? And somebody was like, she fine, but she need to get, she's trying to act like she white. I was like, wow. And then I ended up watching TikTok. I love TikTok, y'all. And I was watching TikTok, and on TikTok, the guy said, he'd walk around with a microphone. He's a young kid, looked like they like college students, and they were asking the young ladies who had braids in their hair, why do they have, European hair in their head? And I was just, and they were like, because we want to, and they were going back and forth, and then long and behold, the whole purpose was they were trying to get the sisters to be their natural selves. And so I want to talk about the real reasons why we wear hair extensions. And I am going to play the devil's advocate a little bit and talk about the real reasons why we wear hair extensions, and just talk about the different opinions of others and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. I know this ain't no mosquito, honey. I know. What is this? Is it hair? That's weird. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm putting on my glasses because I did have to write it down because it's definitely not going to be long, but I do want to make sure I touch a lot of the things. So like when next time a person comes to you and they watch this video, next time they have that question, they'll think about, well, it could be a number of reasons why we wear hair extensions, So the first reason is we were taught at a very young age that our hair was not beautiful and it was not nice hair. It was difficult hair. And I'm not going to say the word because someone, one of the you guys in the comments said, Lee, don't say that word, the N word that ends with a Y. And I was like, okay, so it's tightly coiled hair. So we were taught all through life, even as kids, by our parents, when they installed the extensions in or when they put the chemical in our hair, that our hair just wasn't, it was very difficult to manage. So automatically a lot of us tend to go into hair extensions. And this may trigger some people, but I hope it helps you. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm trying to help you. This is what this channel is about. So the next reason why we wear hair extensions, and we prefer to wear hair extensions a lot of times, is the limitations of our hair. Because we have tightly coiled hair, if we did some of the things that we can do with hair extensions, then we would our hair will fall out. That's part of one of the things that I teach about is about bad practices, because you would have to do things to your hair that you don't have to do when you have a chemically processed hair extension. Like this is naturally, I think it's a deep wave or whatever, deep wave. So if I wanted to do that to my natural hair, I would have to put a certain amount of heat, some sprays on it to get that look. So this is where a lot of women believe that this is a protective hairstyle, because the things that they want to do, if they want more length to their hair, and they don't want to wait for it to grow, then they add extensions to their hair. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that Caucasian women and other race of women wear hair extensions. It's nothing wrong with that. However, they wear it, a lot of them wear it because they may have fine hair. You'll find that a lot with them. They may have fine hair, so they wear it on a consistent basis. A lot of them wear it because, and I'm talking about other race of women, they don't wear it out of, not too many of them. And I should have did like a statistics, but a lot of them may wear it because of illness, or they have very fine hair, like I said, or they may have lost their hair. It's something normally medical with them. But with us, we tend to use it because of just, we want that type of hair extensions. It's aesthetics. It is pure. It's a lot of times it's for aesthetics. It starts out as aesthetics. Let me say that. It starts out as aesthetics, but it ends up going into damaged hair, and now you're covering up your hair because what you were doing as far as the aesthetics to get that look has now caused you hair loss. So this is where we're going to kind of dive into and talk a little bit about. So I just wrote a quick line so I can know what to talk about, and I promise you it won't be long. So those are the real reasons why we wear it, for aesthetics, and also these are the ground, the base was that we were taught that our hair was very difficult, and if you wanted a certain look, that's what you do. Now the other reason is that we love variety. You know, that's why you got your different wigs. We just love variety. Like today I want to be curly, maybe tomorrow I want to be just short, or maybe tomorrow I want to just, for me personally, I personally don't like to wear a lot of extensions, you know what I mean? But remember I told you the movie, and I still have it in my hair, so it's doing fine. But the minute it starts loosening up or whatever, I'm gonna take it out because I kind of prefer my own hair, but I don't knock it, right? So that's that. So we love variety. If we want to be blonde, we can be blonde, and we don't have to worry about the limitations of bleaching our hair and what we have to do. We can get the look and bleach our own hair, but why do that and go, and maybe you just want that just for that time, and you don't want to wear it, you don't want to have blonde hair all the time. Maybe you want to be a brunette, maybe you want to be a redhead. That's what we like. We like the variety. Our men a lot of times love the fact that they women have variety. They don't know what they're gonna get when they see them. It's kind of sexy, right? So these are some of the reasons why we do that. Another reason is convenience. And I was just talking to a young lady that has beautiful natural hair, but she says, sometimes I just want a wig just to get a different look, something more natural, and not have to always touch up my hair. Because a lot of people think that when you're natural hair and you kinky, coily hair, that you're fine, like you don't have nothing to do, you just wake up in the morning and just, no, it's work even to take care of natural hair. So a lot of times too, they just want something different. Like I always told you, I told you in one of the videos, the curly want to be straight and the straight want to be curly. So if they wake up in the morning, they feel like being from curly to straight, then guess what? They're going to be curly to straight. So that is another reason. We love variety. The other reason is we love creativity. So when we think about hair extensions, now let's talk about that as well. When you think about the hair extensions, think about the fact that so many looks that we have with it. We got the shortcut with the you can add hair to it. I saw a girl did a beautiful she took a wig. This person was completely 90% bald. She just had a tail in the back, and she took the wig, a hair prosthesis, and she put that on, and she razored and just did a beautiful job. You wouldn't even know the lady was missing hair, and it was gorgeous. So the creativity part we love too. We make trends. Don't mistake it for nothing. We make trends. We set the trend, a lot of us. Whether it's short with blonde hair, whether it's black and long hair, we make the trend. So when you take that hair extension and you say, you know what, I'm going to rod this, or I'm going to put some highlights in this, or I'm going to ombre this, or I'm going to have one side black, the other side blonde, or one side red, the other side blonde. I'm going to cut it this way. I'm going to do it asymmetrical and have this extremely long, this extremely short. So we are creative. To be honest, this is where the kitchen hairstylist actually comes from. So when I was a little girl, I had a good friend that she died many years ago. Her name was Angel Wilson. And we were like, and I was in elementary school, she was in junior high, but she was so gifted all around. She could play baseball, she could dance, she was one of the baddest, best dressed girls in Miami, Florida, right? At that time. This was in the 90s. Is that, yeah, the 90s. And I loved her. She was just a good person, a good people, whatever. But Angel could dress. But Angel was, I don't know if y'all remember, you got to be a certain age. They had popcorn curls. And then they had the spray. You could spray the hair with the gold, the purple, the blue. Oh my God, I'm taking it back. And so going to Angel house, she had a sister, older sister, Deneen. And I lived around the corner from them, and I would go over there, and that was part of. Remember, I told you about my uncle, who kind of got me into the beauty world. But Angel them kind of like made it flourish, and I would come to their house, and they like, come sit down. That's when Stacks came out. We gonna put some Stacks in your hair, and she cut. I don't know what was wrong with me. I let her cut my hair because I had long hair, so she cut it, and she did a gorgeous job. It was stacked like the salt and pepper. And then she had it flipped going back, and it was long in the back. And then she sprayed it. She sprayed it with a little bit of gold, a little bit of purple, in my hair, and it was pretty. Now, when I got home, my mom said a few words that I wasn't really proud of her with, but I was cute. Afterwards, she said, well, you do look nice. I was like, I know I do. So we were creative. So if whatever, she was like, I'm doing popcorn curls. We had the ponytails and we did the fans, or we wanted to do popcorn curls. That's when we call them popcorn curls or freeze curls. I'm gonna do some freeze curls in my hair. We were creative. So we love to have the hair extensions, but it allowed us to be creative and tell you a little bit about ourselves. Just think about the fact that women, whether it's extensions or not hair extensions, they do their hairstyle and the way they dress tell you a little bit about who they are, their personality. So that's what we did, especially growing up in the hood. I didn't know Carol City was considered suburbs. Now they're Miami Gardens, and I don't know what they got going on. I haven't been there so long. But if you grew up in Liberty City, doing my shout outs, Lake Lucerne, Opelika, Carol City, Bajas, these different places, North Miami, Miami Beach, different places that we have where we can slay some hair. So that's actually where the kitchen hairstyles came from, because they were so creative and doing different looks that you didn't even see. They had them like nothing is new under the sun. The Bible says that. But then what they did was, whatever they did in the 70s, whatever they did in the 80s, they just made it more our 80s. You know what I mean? Like, they made it more creative. They was like, well, we're going to push the envelope a little bit more. Put some spray on that thing. You know what I mean? So that is another reason why Black women wear hair extensions, okay? So now I'm going to do the other side of the reason why a lot of Black women wear hair extensions and wigs, and it's because sometimes we could be very lazy. If we go into church, or we, I'm not just, you know what, let me say this. It's not just Black women, but since we're the ones that are accused of this, that's why I'm talking about us. So I don't want y'all to get in the comments with somebody gonna come in there and I'm like, oh God. But it's not just us, but we're the ones that are accused of it. So address it. And so we can be lazy. A lot of us get hair extensions, and I did a video on Mama, Stop Doing This to Your Daughter Hair. A lot of times we're doing that because we don't have the time. We may be busy or whatever the case may be. And when we come to the salon, or when we go to somebody to get our hair done, we're asking the question, can you give me something that's going to last me a few weeks or a month? And that is a part of being lazy. We may not like what I'm saying, but that is the truth. You always get things like that asked to you because you don't want to deal with your hair, especially if you're going through menopause and you're sweating. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, ladies. Let's talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? So these are some of the reasons. But this is the devil advocate part where we can be very lazy. So we just want to throw a wig on our head, or we want to get some braids, or we're getting extensions. And then I just saw a little girl yesterday that put braids in. Her hair was like puffed. She had them in for so many months, and it had all that white stuff on it because she hadn't been washing it or anything, and she had to pull it apart. I was like, it was so matted. And that is, unfortunately, that is something that happens a lot, right? We don't value our hair. we don't value our hair in this too. So when we're wearing extensions, a lot of times if it's a new look that's out, like I remember when the lemonade braids was coming in, and a lot of us wanted that look, and I saw the women doing the braids all on the edges, one of the weakest part of your hair, and nobody cared. I was like, you don't want her to don't let them put a braid on your edge like that. But then they're like, oh, that's what everybody doing. They needed it to look as natural as possible. So they was willing to risk that short, just to have that moment where everybody could say, oh, look at her hair. So eventually, as time went on, the hair fell out, right? So we don't value our hair. We don't know how much of a value our hair is to us until a lot of times it could be too late. And I'm not saying all of us, but a lot of times it could be too late. And then we value our hair, and then we're trying to figure out how do we get our hair back because we didn't value it before. And that's where the bad practices come in, where we put in oils and a lot of alcohol, and which is the spritz, and we're using a lot of heat because we got to keep the outer part out. And I'm going to tell you how I know we don't value our hair. And I'm one of the guilty hairstylists that did it, so I could talk about it. I remember when I do sew-ins, and it still goes on to this day, where you braiding out everything, and they say, I want to leave out, because they wanted to look natural. It's the part in the middle, the part on the side, and I would do that, and they love their hair come out all natural and beautiful, right? However, when they come back a couple of months out, and they come back, or they do a maintenance, but when they come back and we got to take the whole thing out, you can see the difference, and everybody on here can testify to this. You can see the difference where the hair, where that heat was at, is your hair is thin. So we see the beginning stages of the breakage, and then the rest of your hair is thick and maybe longer, right? Different texture. So that is the beginning. That's the stage where we need to say, wait, you know what? I really enjoy that look, but I see my hair going thin. What else can you offer me as far as a service that I can get done? Because this right here, I can't be saying I want my hair to grow out, but I'm going to sacrifice my hair and my edges, right? So a lot of times it is bad practice. So I'm being a devil's advocate. I'm talking about the creative side and the different reasons why we wear extensions, but I have to talk about the fact why we wear extensions. The real reason why we wear extensions or wigs as well is because we can be lazy, right? And that's the truth, like own it. And then we also, can be lazy, and we don't value our hair. We rather, at least I don't have to bother with it. We rather avoid our hair, ignore our hair for months at a time than to do it. But when you start taking it out and you start realizing you're losing it, guess what happens? Now you value your hair. So we don't really value our hair, and it's understandable. If you're going through as a kid and someone constantly telling you that your hair is bad from your elementary school, from daycare, from your mom, your grandparent, whoever, they're telling you it's bad when they're doing different things, putting relaxers, putting those in, because they say they don't want to hear you crying, or they just don't want to be bothered with your hair. Can you put some braids in it? And those different things, when you have that constantly spoken to you, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to be like, I don't want to be bothered with it either, because I was taught all my life not to be bothered with it. So that's that. There is a very now there is a very small percentage of women of other race, and especially our race, that may do put extensions in their hair because they want to feel, I have had customers that say they want to be Caucasian. So I know I'm like, oh God, I have to admit it. But I have had customers that say they wear their extensions and they will never wear their hair. They hate their hair. They don't want to acknowledge their hair. They're just going to always wear extensions. They don't care if it falls out. They don't value it at all. They don't want me to talk to them about it. They don't want me to educate them about it. They hate their hair, and they're going to wear wigs and their weaves until they die. Simple. So there is a small percentage, very, very small though, I'm going to be honest with you. That is really the reason. I mean, when I say small, maybe for me, what I've experienced in my chair, even though I'm not in the salon anymore, it's been like maybe 2% of women that I've experienced that I can say, yeah, they really did. But for the most part, the other reasons, and you guys, again, I may not be touching on everything, but the other reasons may be, the other reasons are really the reasons why we wear hair extensions. It has nothing to do with wanting to be like another race. Because I'm going to be honest, we are some of the most beautiful women in the world, black women. Number one, we come in all shades. We come in high, high yellow, they call it. I don't want to say high yellow. Let me find another word. Very light skin, right? All the way to the richest, beautiful chocolate. I don't know if anybody watched the other day. They had this on TikTok. I saw it this morning where it was a girl. She was chocolate, like black skin, but it was so smooth and so rich. And she was on that pop the balloon thing. And it was a guy. He was very attractive. He was muscular and everything. Nice looking guy. And when she saw him, she popped her balloon. And so when they got in front of her, the host said, "Why did you pop your balloon?" She said, "I didn't think I was his type." And he was like, "You're actually my type. I love your beautiful skin." And he just started raving about, "I love your hair." She had braids in her hair. Those were extensions in her hair. But she was a beautiful girl. Nice body or whatnot. She wasn't like but she was beautiful, right? Her spirit was beautiful and she was very humble. But he was immediately attracted to her. And at the end, he was like, she said, the host said, "Do you want your balloon?" She was like, "I'll take my balloon." But because society has said the dark-skinned chocolate girl is not beautiful, she popped her balloon. You think that happened when she was an adult? No, that happened to her from a child. So she was like, "Oh, he was a light-skinned guy." So she was like, you know what? So we are an array of beautiful, beautiful women. I would be honest, like, we're very proud of our culture. A lot of us are. I can say that the women that come through my door that are strikingly gorgeous and everything, they're proud to be black women. Whether they are very fair skinned, that's the word I was looking for, fair skinned women, or whether they're chocolate of the chocolate. We love it. We love that we can be voluptuous. We are shapely. We love that about ourselves. We love that we can be petite. We love that we can be thick. We love that we can do whatever we want to do to our hair, right? We love that we can be creative. We love that we can be sophisticated. We love that we can be smart and beautiful and strong and go through all kind of things in life. And this is not just black women. This is women across the board. As a woman, we have gone through things. So I hate the fact that people ask that question because it separates you in a way. And we don't need to be separate at this day and age, right? Especially amongst our own. And so I did a video many years ago, it might be still up, where I talked about it. Oh, you trying to be, I may take that video down. But that video, I had people come on and say, yeah. And I was one of the ones that said, you trying to be white? Because I don't know if I said you was trying to be white. But I was just like, blonde is not for everybody. I think I said something like that. Like, let me tell y'all something. And I'm talking about that video. I may go and look for it and take it down. But I remember when I was doing platform artistry. I was a regional brand manager for Peter Coppola. And we were traveling everywhere. We were educating people about his company and the products that he had at the time. And we were training stylists and everything else. And I remember I had a mohawk. And I was just talking to the celebrity hairstylist that's going to be with us on Friday. Really good friend of mine. And I was saying, they would say, "Oh, Lee, you look good with some blonde." Oh, no, I won't. Because I even tried to do highlights. It didn't look good on me, right? I was like, no, I'm too dark for that, right? And but I would wear purple and black. So I would put pieces of purple extensions in, and I would dye my hair blue-black. So I give that purple would pop, and I loved it. That was my look. I found my look. I was comfortable. I don't be trying to run everybody trend or whatever, but I found my look, right? And so I have seen women that have blonde hair that are my complexion or darker, and they actually look good. The celebrity hairstylist that's coming on Friday, she wears blonde dreads, mohawk, and every time I see her, I'm like, she commands the room. She looks gorgeous with the extension. I don't know if she's wearing extensions. Her dreads are super long. It might be hers. But she looks beautiful, just like that. And she's chocolate. She might be a little bit darker than me, or we might be the same complexion. And so even me, I saw myself with prejudices and things that I had against myself, self-hatred, even back then, even though I didn't think I looked good with it, it was really more of the insecurity of, I can't rock no blonde. To be honest, I probably would never try to rock blonde because I like blue black hair. I was raised and taught with my uncle saying blue black is the hair that you need to wear. And also my in cosmetology school, they teach you when your hair is breaking off or you have issues, you dye your hair black. But I like blue black. But even me, I separated myself. Like that young lady on the show, she was chocolate, and she popped her balloon thinking that because she thought that of herself. So for those of you that want to know why we wear hair extensions, it's many reasons why we wear hair extensions, but I promise you this, it's not because we want to be like any other race, because we are proud, beautiful, we are making moves in this world, we are, getting the bag, we are raising children, we're raising families, we are wives, we are professors, we are attorneys, we are moms, stay-at-home moms. We are business women, right? We are comedians. We are singers. We are everything. Trust me, the last thing we're trying to be is somebody else. So I pray this video helps you. I will see you guys on the next video. And don't forget to stay tuned to this Friday, May 9th. We have going live, Ask a Cosmetologist going live, and I'm so excited about this guest who is an international celebrity stylist, hairstylist, and makeup artist that, y'all, she has so many beautiful gifts to give us. So I pray that you guys tune in May 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also for my professionals that are looking to get into the industry and they have questions, I'm going to put a link up with my book, but you can go in and you can look into that. And if you're looking to grow and you just don't want to be behind the chair, that book should help you out. That book was created for the stylist that was trying to start out, that didn't have a blueprint or anyone to walk them through to tell them how to maneuver through the beauty world as a cosmetologist. All right, I pray this video helps you. I am Coach Lee, your hair coach, and I will see you guys next video. Bye.